welcome back to the conversation on Morning Spring. We're still talking about elections and AI, and Mr. Bukola Idowu is right here with us in the studio. He is the Executive Director of Kimpact Development Initiative, and we're talking about this AI platform called Nigeria Elections that provide accurate information as to Nigerians on electoral system in our country. And, you know, before we went on that break, I was talking about the fact that it's not only in English language, we have it in Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa, the three major languages in the country. I mean, when I went to the platform, the first thing I typed was, I think I saw a template and I was like, what do I do to become the president of Nigeria? You might not know, I might be nursing that ambition. So I have to get to know what I have to do to become probably the first female president of the country. So tell us, why did you involve the indigenous languages, and also what are you doing in form of awareness to people who actually might want to make use of the indigenous languages to maneuver the platform?
So thank you very much. And in fact, it's so interesting to know that you've really navigated the whole platform. Yeah, so what we are trying to do, like we said, is how do we move information to the people?
Yeah.
The citizen, the 93 million registered voter who need to come out, who need to understand the process. So who doesn't need to say, look, they said, someone said, and someone said no. So what we have done is to be able for you to interact with that platform. If you want to pick your language, just pick your language, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, and then you interact. So far you can read those languages. Then you will be able to understand. So it is what we have done is like translating the constitution into Yoruba, translating the constitution into Igbo and Hausa, or the electoral act for you to see, which for now there is no document for most especially electoral act that you can find in those languages. So most times they are written in English. Now, the second thing again is the good thing is because we need to launch and we need the focus for now, and what we are trying to do is to see how the people of Edo and Ondo will quickly make use of this for the coming election. And that was why we limited that to those two, I mean, the three languages. But as I'm talking to you, work is ongoing on. In any moment, we are going to announce the infusion of like close to like about this year. We are going to announce close to like about 50 languages, Nigerian languages that will be there. Yoruba, you know, Ijaw, you know, a whole lot of that. We have to be there because the most important thing is let's bring information to the citizen.
Right.
And again, the disability friendliness of this is this: you can be busy, just there is also text to speech, so you can be busy, just press it, and then it's reading whatever you have for you. Okay. And that is the beauty of it.
All right. You know, because of want of time, I'm allowed to ask you this before we take away from the AI conversation. How accurate are the information on this platform?
Yes, like I said, official documents. Official. There is no document on that particular platform that's anybody's opinion. In fact, the moment it gives you any prompt, it will give you the citation where it pick it from. Oh, right. Section 133 of this, and can tell you to, so you can actually go and check. So that is one thing we have been able to do. And we also took care to get, even whether they are official or not, we also know there are a lot of pirated or documents all around in terms of constitution and electoral guide. So we have to go and get from the source.
Yeah. Two questions from me. One is this: before, just like I talked about, I wanted to ask you about what has just happened in South Africa. Yeah. Lastly, for me, is on these AI, how much of a help do you think these will do to our electoral consciousness, especially as Nigerians, stemming from that 2023 elections? Because either the challenges, the damage, let me put it that way, that misinformation cost, we are still having it right now. Yeah. Any conversation on social media, you see people pick it from a place of tribe, pick it from a place of religion, even needlessly. How much of a help do you think these would do to our electoral knowledge, education, and consciousness knowing fully well, you've talked about Ondo and Edo to start with?
Well, I think number one, it saves you cost. You know, the cost of acquiring information. You know, how many people can even or are even interested in going to buy the Electoral Act and the Constitution? So you want to go and buy it for where? You know, and that is one. Then you are not even sure they want the hawk in traffic. So what this has done for you is you have the information. So far you have the data, and that's why I say cost. So you can just go online and do it. And then one of the things we are doing is that by the time we move into the 2027 election, by God's grace, is a platform that the major goal by that year is that you are not going to need data to access it again. So the most important thing is one, when people know. You see, knowledge, like I keep saying, knowledge is a combination of two words, know and edge. It's whatever you know that gives you an edge. So when you empower people with information, which is knowledge, then they are above, they can challenge anything. And I keep saying it, that election wouldn't have been like that because we did not know. We took, the chairman said, this person said. Now, nobody knew, including the candidates, nobody could even quickly say, look, wait a minute, this thing is not here. This thing is just hidden in this particular place. So, for instance, now, we now have, if anybody is telling you, we are going to use these gadgets now, then just go to the Electoral Act, go to the Constitution. If you don't find it there, we now begin to ask questions. Is it constitutional or
asking the right question?
So you begin to ask the right question.
And finally, because of time, so we were just reading, you know, before you came in, the headline segment, and we saw that there is this part that said that our president, Tinubu, will be attending Ramaphosa's inauguration. And you realize they are already talking about inauguration already in South Africa. The conversation for us at the 2023 election, we were bickering on the conduct of the election, the part played by security personnel, the glitches, the itches, the issues with Lagos, the issues in Port Harcourt. But for them, they're already talking about inauguration. How much of a lesson can we learn in the election that happened in South Africa? And we understand the uploading of whatever they did happened in real time, and people are not talking about the challenges with the election. They're already talking about forming of government, how ANC has reached out to other parties to have their hold, and it's looking like we are supposed to be the one doing this. We're supposed to be the giant of Africa, but it seems we are far off.
So, number one lesson
quickly, let me just add, is it the political education of South Africans that gave them that edge? Just we are talking about AI, or the institutions worked? What edge did they have on us? I think that's good.
So I think number one is a sense of nationhood. And if we don't have that as a Nigerian, you see, Nigerians are more loyal to their tribe than to the nation. That is one thing you need to first of all know. Now, why will somebody vote Tinubu in this part of this place? It's going to tell you because it's a Yoruba man. You understand? And that is number one. Number two.
That's not illegal.
It's not illegal, but you see, there are some things that are not illegal, but they cause more damage. Because when you look at it holistically, now, for the first time since 1999, we had an election that divided us more than uniting us. And I keep saying this. Look at 1999 election. Who are the main contestants? Shivolu Falaye. Olusegun Obasanjo. Where were they coming from? From the southwest. Everybody knows, look, we are going to the southwest. We are going to vote. We are going to the southwest. Now, when it was Yaradua's time, Buhari, Yaradua, everybody knows these are the leading contestants. We are going to the north. And that really helped. However, you come to 2023, somebody is coming from the east, strong contestant. Somebody is coming from the north, strong contestant. Somebody is coming from the south, strong contestant. Then people now move. The loyalty became to the region. So, and I think that is not good for a country as far as it is not illegal, but you have a country that are multi-racial, ethnic group, then we need to begin to look at how we unite ourselves. That is number one. So we need to first of all drop whatever we are doing and we begin to talk about nationhood first, Nigerian first. Now, if that's and please let me quickly say this. Having observed elections, now if you go to South Africa and even go to America, have you noticed that during their campaign, what you see most is the national flag? Go check American election. Is the national flag. In fact, the major Democrat and Republican, the color of their logo are drawn from the national flag. And you see it there. You come to Nigeria, APC color is totally out, PDP color is totally out, and you get to the campaign ground, you see nothing that represents Nigeria. So these are tiny issues,
so
and we need to begin to
do them. We are more divided.
We are
more
divided.
Africans.
So the second, and I'm going to use maybe like 1 minute to talk about this, is transparency. South Africa election was so transparent that you can follow it on the dashboard. Life, as was shut down, and then it took civil society to start shouting. Then it took almost 24 hours for INEC to come out to tell us they are having glitches. So where is the transparency? So we need to learn that transparency. Then the last thing is the institution. Institutions are powerful in South Africa. Here, individuals are more powerful. And I give you an example. South Africa have an electoral court. If there are issues, you go to that court, quickly sort it out, and then we begin to, and they move on. But in Nigeria, in fact, our law says, 180 days after election, that is when you go to that is when the tribunal have to decide. And after that, you go to the appeal court, and then you go to the Supreme Court. Before you know it, you are still in court 1 year. But the good thing we want to say in 2027, and which advocacy have started, is please, let's conclude all these cases before you swear in any president. Right. And again, let's see how INEC, which is the important organ now, conduct election. Right. That people will say, no, this election is free and fair. I don't need to go to court. Why will I waste my time?
Right. And we know the conversations is about the election, deepening our democracy, and having credible election. We have Mr. Bukola Idowu here. But stay with us. We'll go on this quick break. We'll be back.